Oh, wait. Are we live? Are we live, Jim?
Yes, we are live.
And we're alive.
I have my new, thanks to my great co-host Tim Sohn, Tim and Jim
Cheers.
Show coffee mug, and his is being green screened, but he's
It
got
is
one
being
too.
green
So
screened.
are these the only two in the world right now, Tim?
So far, we have to work on that.
So we could sell them on eBay for a lot of money.
Yes. Let's see if this works better. No, probably not.
A little better.
A little better with the turkey. Shout out to the turkey. Yeah. And we should say hello to everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Tim Sohn here in the woods with the bears. And this turkey, this is a really weird turkey. And we're so excited to have you here. My business is Sohn Social Media Solutions, where I produce memorable virtual events and live shows for brands and nonprofits that want to make a bigger impact in the world. And Jim, I'm so excited to be here with you today. Take it away.
Yes, I'm Jim Fuse of Fusion Marketing. I do, just like Tim, remote and live stream production, virtual events as well. Excited about one next week with the USA Biz Party, but very excited to have our friend Amy Aaron on today. And Amy, why don't you tell everybody about yourself? Because we know that you're not very tall, because I think I'm taller than you.
I think so, just a little bit. Hi, everybody. My name is Amy Iram. I am 6'2", if you don't already know that. If we only meet online, you're not going to know that. So if we haven't met in person before, now you know what to expect. I'm the founder of Capitalize Social Media, and I help life and business coaches gain visibility and attract their ideal clients by harnessing the power of live video. And I'm super excited. I feel like home. Thank you for making me feel so welcome.
Oh, we love you, Amy Iram. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you, everyone who's tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about how to create content quickly and spend time on your business, which now more than ever is so important to know how to do in these times and beyond. But we want to say hello to people who are tuning in. Sherry Roberts is here. Hello, Sherry. Stefan Kaplan's in the house. Shout out to Big Turkeys behind Tim and one huge new coffee cup in Jim's hand. Tim and Jim rock. And I'm going to add Amy rocks as well. And Nina says, hey guys, Matt Ward is here. He says, hey Jim, at my office and had a few minutes to see what you do here. And Stefan says, hi, Amy. So guys, what do you think? Should we dig in? What do you think?
Yeah, we can chit chat like more if you want.
Or should we just talk about turkeys all day? I don't know.
Turkeys now more than ever. All the fun stuff. Thanks for joining us. I'm so excited. Oh my gosh, this is so fun.
All right, Jim, why don't you take away question number 1?
So, and I don't know if it's because you live in California, but tell us about your ocean method.
Yes, it is actually because I live in California. But I didn't always live in California, actually. I actually grew up in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. So anyone that's joining us from there, that's like where I was born and raised. Right around the end of high school, my family moved to Arizona. And I lived in Arizona, like all around Arizona, like Phoenix and West Valley and like Goodyear and Gilbert. I most recently lived in Gilbert. And then I'd work for a very, very, very large wireless company that if you guess, I'm sure you'll guess I'd say the biggest one right now. They've always been kind of the top, starts with a V. And I worked for them for a very long time, basically my entire adult life. I was in call center and customer service, and I quickly started becoming a manager and growing teams. And then graduated college, and then I moved to retail and started managing retail stores. And then I got to the point where I was like, I need something different. And then I was like, I really, really I traveled a lot in a lot of different places. And I'm like, the only place that I would ever want to live is San Diego. And one day I literally just decided, I was like, I'm going to move to San Diego. I remember walking to my boss's office and he's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, good, I'm moving to San Diego. He's like, what? You're moving? I'm like, yeah, bye, see you later. And literally within 6 months, this is crazy. Whenever you put your mind to something and you just go for it and don't stop, because I literally, within 6 months from telling my boss I was moving, I sold my house, found a home for my dog. I had to find a new place for my dog. It's a long story, which worked out perfectly actually. And transferred my job to San Diego, all in like literally 6 months. It was kind of crazy too, because I almost, I'd sold my house before I actually got the job transfer. And it was like, ooh, this is interesting. So it just like, it was all meant to be. And it was like, I was meant to be in San Diego. I wanted to move back to California, but I wanted to be in San Diego by the beach. And in July, coming up in July, will be 10 years that I lived in San Diego. So
Happy anniversary.
Thanks. Thank you. It's every year it's like, gosh, I can't believe it's another year and another year. And I love, love, love San Diego so much. Oh, Stefan says he loves California and the Bay Area. Aquarium of the Bay. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm reading comments. Yes, that's my home. That's where I'm from. And my dad still lives in Sacramento, which is kind of north of where I grew up. But we visit. And last year we actually took a trip Thanksgiving and like did a like little loop and introduced my family and my husband and my son to where I grew up in the San Francisco Bay Area. So anyways, that's where the ocean method came from. But that's a very long story. Now you know everything about me. The ocean method. So the ocean. What's that?
I said the show is over now.
Like you just talk too much and now it's over. I gotta give people something.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I know. It's like cut, it's over. So the ocean method, my business is all about the ocean, and it's all about the power of the ocean, harnessing the power of the ocean. And I also like to talk about like I think of the ocean too as like a place to go and relax and like spend the day and enjoy. And it just makes me, I don't know about you, but it's, being next to the water, next to the ocean just makes me just feel calm and relaxed. And so when I thought of like the process that I use to help my clients create content and what I've done for years in helping them create content is I developed the ocean method. So literally there's 5 different types of content to simplify your social media strategy. Like you can sit there and think like, oh gosh, what do I post about today? Or like, there's so many things, or I have no idea. Like literally, if you just think of these 5 things in the ocean method, you'll come up with something. And this is all something that's going to perpetuate engagement in your social media strategy. So that's what it is. So here is a beautiful picture my friend Kathy Nolan drew, and you can't really see it, but it's there. There's the ocean method. There's a little tide pool up there. There is a treasure chest of ideas, consistency, and purpose that we use that the ocean brings to the ocean method. So ocean as an acronym, and it stands for offer, connect, engage, authority, and nurture. And if you want to stop me to talk about in the comments, I can stop talking for a second.
That's okay. Keep going. We're in suspense. We want to know more about these 5 steps.
Okay, cool. So those are the five types of content. So of course you go to social media. People don't go there to buy things. They don't go, oh, I'm going to Facebook today and I'm gonna buy something. What am I gonna buy? Right. So you can't just like constantly create content that's like about you and what you sell and what you're offering today. Like people aren't going to be attracted to that. But you do need to make it known, of course, every once in a while, like once a week or so, like, oh, this is what I'm offering today. This is what I have going on. If you want to work with me, this is what I do. So that's obviously important. So offer needs to be part of your strategy. So connect, I think, is the most important thing. And a lot of times we forget about this is connection, is creating that connection with your audience and that requires you to kind of like share a little bit about yourself. And some people say, well, people don't care about me. Yes, they do. They care a lot about you, and they want to know about you, and they want to know who you are and how they can really truly connect with you. And if you share things about you, like I like to play tennis, and I think, oh, no one cares that I play tennis. I'm like, well, I do, but I'm going to share that on my stories. And I shared it my stories a couple weeks ago, and one of my followers happens to be a local San Diego resident, Stephanie Mayo. She's not here today, but she's awesome. She's like, oh my gosh, I want to play tennis. I'm like, okay, cool, let's play tennis. So it's like I met a new friend to play tennis with. And that's the kind of stuff that happens. People can connect with you if you share things about yourself, about you, you share as little or as much as you want. There's no rules. It's whatever you feel comfortable with. So that C is connect is so important. I could talk about that one the entire time, but that's so important. E for engage. So obviously you want to give, people things to interact with, right? And engagement is the name of the game when it comes to social media. You've got to perpetuate that conversation and keep it going and really build relationships, because that's really what it's all about, is you're connecting with people for them to get to know you, what you're all about. And then for them to then obviously, if there's an opportunity for them to work with you, then they're going to reach out and work with you. But being able to create content that is engaging, you ask questions, you get their opinion. People love sharing their opinion. What's your favorite this, and what is your, the favorite part about that, or what did I post a couple weeks ago? What is something that people don't know about you? That's where the comments about people don't know that I'm 6'2" if they haven't met me in person, and you can't really tell by looking on a computer screen. So it was kind of fun. So people, that's a way to build connection. So think about that.
Jim, what's something people don't know about you?
Something that people don't know about me, that this is not a green screen. That's really a brick wall. And I guess about me, a lot of people don't know that I'm actually one of the founders, one of the plank holders of the Marine Corps Special Operations Command. Like, I was one of the first 30 guys to actually start the organization, and I was in charge of all the money.
Wow. So you're a money guy and a Marine guy.
Yes.
Very trustworthy.
I didn't know that about the money part, Jim.
That's cool. Wait, but I'm still, is that a green screen or is it real?
No, it's brick. It's a vinyl brick wall.
Oh, very cool.
I always thought it was a green screen because it looks so sharp, but no, it's $30 on Amazon, and you can have any color wall you want. Just pin it up. So I may get like a roller thing, so I can have other backgrounds, but I'm not going to have a turkey like Tim.
This is a real turkey right behind me. It's very quiet today. It's not making any noises yet, but
it's a lot something about you know about.
Anyway, continue, Amy. Sorry, I just wanted to get Jim's take, and I wanted to learn something about Jim I didn't know.
Now you know.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? It's fun. It's fun to chat about that kind of stuff, to learn more about, and you connect. And then now people know that about you, Jim, and now people can go, oh, Marines, I was in the Marines, or I know someone, and then you connect that way too. So sharing things about yourself, for sure. Engaging, asking questions. And then the A is for authority. So sometimes we forget about this too. Like, we like to share things and talk about things other than ourselves. You're on a business page. I think someone asked a question, do you do this on your personal page or your business page? I'm talking about your business page. So like your Facebook business page, your Instagram business profile, those kind of things, because of course you're going to talk about yourself and things personally on your personal profile, but for your business profile, people think it has to be all business, which it needs to be to a certain extent, but also people are there to connect with you and learn more about you. And that's, again, why you want to make sure that you're establishing your authority. So talk about the things that you know and share value and give them tips and tricks and all those kinds of things that really allow you to show that you're the expert. And that's what's going to bring people back to you too, is that, the information, like, oh, this person is really knowledgeable about this topic, and I need to learn more about it. So I'm going to keep paying attention. I'm going to comment on their content. And the more you comment, the more that, of course, the attention comes to your page and your profile. So that is all about engagement, connection, building relationships. And then last but not least, nurture. Nurture is talking about things. Okay, so you got to know your ideal client really well to be able to do this, but talk about your ideal client. Think about your ideal client, who they are, what they're interested in, what they need help with if they're a business owner, and think about all the other things that they are probably going to need help with too, and share content like that. So on my show, Coaches Go Social, I bring coaches and experts to share information that's going to help my audience of service-based entrepreneurs. And those people, they need help with social media, but they also need help with marketing, with finances, anything to do with a business. That's information. I bring experts on to share information that will help them, not only because I know the social media part, but that they need help with everything else to do with their business. And that's how I've grown my audience.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. And Jim?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that nurturing too sometimes is probably one of those harder skills for us to to learn. I mean, especially, I don't know, maybe it's a guy thing even more, like for us to be nurturing, it almost sounds like touchy feely. And, that's where my Marine part, I have to like, how do I nurture people?
Yeah, no, it's not. I mean, that's the N to make my acronym work. There's a lot of different words you could use for that. But as far as like, it's really important to know, like, you want to bring in your ideal clients. You want them to, know about you. You want them to be, getting that information, that knowledge that's important to them. It's all about them when it comes down to it. When you're creating content, it's all about your ideal client and knowing them really well and how you can support them. And that's how you can build that relationship and that connection with them. So, it doesn't have to be like, oh, I just want to hug you all the time. I mean, obviously, we can't do that right now, but no, it doesn't have to be like that kind of like nurturing, like, how can I help? Like, let's, have a moment. No, we don't need to do that. But it's just a matter of like knowing them really well. And I think sometimes it's hard for people, it's like, who is my ideal client? And knowing them really well and how you can support them is the most important thing.
Yes, absolutely. So we're just going to take a peek at some of the comments, and then we're going to run a brief commercial by StreamYard and keep going here. So Nina says, finally, someone who understands that people care about the other one they're buying from and working with. Go, Amy, you are the bomb.
Aw, my people, they're here.
Yeah, Nina's awesome. She's in my Toastmasters group. She's a great person.
I love Toastmasters. I'm in Toastmasters too.
Awesome. Rose says, do you have separate accounts for your personal Facebook and a business account?
Yes, definitely separate. There's a lot of things you can do for your business profile that you can't do as a personal, if you're talking about Facebook especially. There's a ton of things you can do with your business, and you can do it so much. And this is another thing, I get this question a lot actually, and another thing about the fact that, should I just talk about my business on my personal page? Well, you can, and people want to know, like, what you're all about and that your business is an aspect of you. But think about it this way. People, become friends with you because they like you and they want to connect with you. They don't necessarily like want to know all about your business. You don't go up to like someone brand new, they mean, oh, hi, nice to meet you, and this is what I do. You're like, oh, that's weird. So you want to keep as much as possible, right? Your business is an aspect of who you are on your personal page, but it's not like everything that you should be talking about. If they're interested in your business, of course, they're going to be like, oh, what is it that you do? Let me learn more about that. You can invite them to your business page. But having, mixing business and personal completely isn't the way that I teach. I definitely teach your business page and integrating personal aspects of you on your business page. That's a good question.
That's awesome. That is a good question. And Sherry is asking, Amy, how often do you feel someone should post daily on their profile and page each? What's your take there?
How often should they post daily? I'm thinking daily, or how often should they post daily, or should they post more than daily? I'm gonna guess. Let's see. I think it definitely depends on your audience, and this is where testing and analyzing comes into play. I think I was gonna talk about that too. Is that you're creating content, and then you don't want to just like let it sit there, right? You want it to. You want to be able to analyze that. You want to look at it, and I'm all about results. I come from sales background and like results, and like we got to do things. If it's not working, do something else. That's where I came from, and that's what I do with my content. Is that you've got to look at, okay, what did I like? Look at it over the course of the month. Look at all the content that you created. Look and see if it's got all the ocean method aspects in it, and then see, okay, what things really resonated with my audience and what didn't. And try it for a few 2-3 months, and if it's not resonating, then scrap it and start something new. But as far as how often, of course, that's going to depend on your audience too. With my clients, we do like 5 times a week. We also do like stories and like different kind of content too in there. But as far as like posts on your page, 5 posts a week, and then you go from there. And if it's if there's things that aren't doing well, like I said, you scrap it. And if you want to try 3 times a week, it's going to depend on your audience and how they react to you. And it's very, I have a system, and that framework works over, but it takes some tweaks and different clients and different things to test and to make it the best, make sure we get results.
Awesome. Thank you, Amy. We are going to take a brief 15-second break to hear from our friends at StreamYard, and we'll see you on the flip side. do. And we're back. And Amy's doing the Tim. Yes.
The Tim. It's the Tim.
Anyway, thank you everyone for being here. This show is a lot of fun, and Amy is dropping so much amazing information. Jim,
Yes, Tim.
take this question for
yeah. So how should we be planning our social media content, Amy? Because like you said, right, some people are like, do I do it 5 times? Do I do it, several times a day? So really planning is going to be a big part of that, or I would think it could become a mess.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's what a lot of people get caught up into. I ask my community, like, what's the hardest part? It's like thinking of things, but it like, if you wait till the last minute to think of something, you're going to be like stressed out about it. And you're going to be like, oh gosh, like, I don't know. And then it's just like this whirlwind of, okay, I forget, I'm just not going to do it today. But if you plan in advance, like, of course, back to the beach, like if you get all your work done in advance and you get all of it planned out, then you can go to the beach and play. Like that's what it's all about. This content is necessary. Content, of course, you have a business page, you're creating posts, you're creating, different, videos. Hopefully you're creating video on your page too. And that's necessary because that is the place where people are going to learn about you. But that's not where it stops. You've got to, have a streamlined process where you plan and create your content and schedule in advance. Hopefully that's what I do. That's what I teach all my clients to do. And then you have the time to go, you did all your work, you go to the beach and you get to go play. And that's engaging and, watching videos, watching live videos, you're commenting on other people's content. And you're really, but doing what social media is really meant for. It's about connecting and engaging and building relationships. So that's where the real magic happens. Content, of course, like I said, you have to have it because that's what you've got to have. Your business has to be open. Those doors have to be open, and people need to find out what you're doing. But that engagement and that activity is what you want to free yourself up for, the fun stuff, to be able to really make the difference, and that's what really moves the needle.
Right. Social is supposed to be social. That's what I think people forget, not just broadcasting.
Breaking news.
Yeah, exactly. And as far as like how you should be planning your content, as far in advance as you can plan, I think is the best thing. Like I had my show Coaches Go Social, and when I started it in January, it was the very end of December when I was like, okay, here are my themes for the entire month or the entire year. Every single month I have a theme, and I invite guests on my show based on that theme. And was like, oh, well, that makes it real easy because I know I'm going to have my show on the first and third Tuesdays. And now I'm going to book these people in advance to be interviewed on my show. And that's taken care of, right? Like you don't have to worry about, like, oh, what am I going to talk about on this video? And who am I going to invite on this day? And, it gets real easy when you prioritize the time to plan. And if you don't have to plan out everything all at once, but having an idea. For me, especially, I just knowing that it's done, I can get it out of my head and know that I kind of, I have to do the next month and not, thinking in advance, but not thinking I have to do all of this at once, if that makes sense. Hopefully that helps.
Yes, that's super helpful. Amy, could you talk a little bit more in terms of stories? Stories are becoming so popular this year, and with Twitter's fleets and LinkedIn stories now. And can you just talk a little bit more in terms of what are some ideas we could gather from you in terms of what kind of content to put on in stories or fleets?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I want to say hi to Nancy. Hi, Nancy. Yes. Thanks for being here. Yeah, stories are really cool. Like I think, every platform pretty much has stories now. That it's just a really neat opportunity to connect at a deeper level. And the way that I like to say, I suggest using stories for a few different reasons, but I like to say, like, I'm not a photographer, and I don't go taking like the best pictures for like, making it viral and, but I want to take pictures that are really me, and I don't want to put them on my feeds. I get to put them in stories, and, it feels like it's like a little bit hidden, but it's still there. I mean, half the engagement happens on these social platforms, at least on Facebook and Instagram, and stories. And now with Instagram has reels, and there's always something new. But take advantage when those new tools and new features come out. start using them and take advantage of them, because what happens is these platforms want you to use them, and they'll prioritize this content higher to for it to be used. And so take advantage of that whenever new features come out, for sure. So the other thing too, if you're a little nervous on video, I like to use this as a little tip. If you're nervous about being on camera on video and you're like, well, I don't know what I'm going to talk about, or it's weird to like be on video and not talk to anybody, which it is, and you just have to practice using it with stories. So, do little quick, like 15-second clips and stories, Facebook stories, Instagram stories, LinkedIn, wherever you want to do it, wherever your audience is, and use that to your advantage. Or practice your speaking and practice like listening to your voice, listening to the recording, seeing yourself, in that story. And that's like my little secret trick to get you comfortable in video.
Those are amazing tips, Amy. We're so grateful that you are here today. Guys, we're going to be wrapping up soon. So if you have any other questions for Amy, please let us know.
Yeah, Manuja has a question in the comments. He wanted to know, should he use paid promotion options offered by the platforms, and do you find them effective?
Oh, good question. Yes. So ads, this is a really good question. I have actually all of the content that I create, everything that I do has been all organic. I know how to do Facebook ads, but I don't do them regularly. I don't actually do them at all. I do them for clients sometimes. But there is if you can leverage the organic, there are so many resources available in these free platforms, right? These social media platforms. Before you invest in paid ads, I would highly recommend you capturing and harnessing the full power of the organic, the reach that you have before you go to ads, for a couple of reasons. Like on Facebook, for example, Facebook in your business page is going to be where people get to know you and learn more about you. And if you run an ad and then they go to your page and then there's like nothing there, we're going to be like, well, I can't find out about who this person is. So you got to get a consistent organic strategy going first on any platform that you're on. And then, that gets you a feel of who your audience is. You're building on audience, you're building community, and then start doing ads when you have like a specific goal in mind. You want to try to fill a webinar, you're getting leads for your email list or whatever the case may be. Have that goal for ads. I like to create content and experiment with different things to really engage the organic content, because it really builds authentic connections. And then when you start going to ads, have that specific goal that you want in mind for that ad, for that money that
and I think that's a great point. I'm not much a fan myself either of ads. In fact, it was interesting, having a conversation before with Brian Wallace. He doesn't run ads for his business at all, and his firm's one of the top infographics companies in the country, possibly even the world. And it's all about just building relationships and building know, like, and trust. And like you talked about earlier, establishing that authority. And so if you don't have that organic content and if you're not engaging, it really is. And I think the problem with ads in a sense is that we think it's going to shortcut us to success. And I think you still have to have the long-term plan and know that it's I used to hear, right, it's a marathon, not a sprint, but it's actually not even a marathon, it's a journey, because once you get to those 26 miles, you have to keep going.
Yes. And Amy, shout out to your son.
That's right. Shout out to High Five.
Your son.
He wanted to tell me that he finished all of his homework, and I said, "Good job! Now you get to go play."
Yay! So Amy, Nancy has a question. She says, when you do video, do you take snippets of the info you have for a month? Do you use it all year if it's still relevant, of course? What do you think about that?
Ooh, that is a good question. And I have a really exciting answer for that too. Yay! Oh my gosh. Okay, so Coaches Go Social. Nancy has actually been a guest. Tim has been a guest. Jim, I need to get you on to my show. Coaches Go Social. Yes, capitalized social media on my Facebook page twice a month, Tuesday, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Sorry, couldn't help it. That is where I am, and that is where my show is. where I bring, value and experts and guests on that are going to help my service-based entrepreneur audience. And the live videos that you create, or any videos that you create, but the live videos especially, are such a wealth of knowledge that you don't want to just like do it live and then let it go, right? So I always create a little clip of my show, of my guest, and I have that recreated using wave.video, which is my favorite video editing software program.
Shout out to wave.video.
Shout out to wave.video. And I also use StreamYard. Yay, shout out to StreamYard.
Shout out to StreamYard.
Yeah, so I repurpose that into a clip. I take that video and then I embed it into a web page, a blog post web page, and then I have it kind of transcribed into a little summary. And then there's so many ways to repurpose your content, you guys. I take graphics, I take little quotes and make them into graphics and put them on my Instagram, put them on my Facebook. And then I don't think I've told you that Tim knows this. Tim knows that I'm going to release a book at the beginning of next year. It's going to be an ebook on Amazon, and it's going to be called The Entrepreneur's Guide to Personal and Business Development. And that is actually, it's not The Entrepreneur's Guide, I lied. The Entrepreneur's Encyclopedia for Personal and Business Growth. And it's going to be all of the interviews that I've done over the course of the last 12 months. So 2020 is going to have its first edition. And it's basically a summary of all the interviews that I've done and all the really, really good advice that an entrepreneur, a newer entrepreneur, can really take away from. So it's all about repurposing your content. So having that cornerstone content that you can break down into little pieces of content as well.
That is really cool.
Shout out to the cornerstone. And there's another question here, if I can find. Oh,
Marissa had a question. Yes.
What is one of your 2021 predictions for social media content, Amy?
Ooh, that is a good one. It's all about building relationships, and that is why all of these platforms are coming out with stories. And the stories, it's going to be the next the content that is like, what's it, FOMO they call it, your fear of missing out, like that kind of content. We kind of talked about this before. Clubhouse is a new social media platform that just came out. It's by invite only. If I could invite you all, I could. I may hopefully try to find a way to help you get on there. But what it is, it's all audio, and it's only it's like a live podcast, and it's not recorded. If you miss it, you miss it. And if you're there, you're there. And if you're not, you're not. So it's like building those connections that are, they're not always available, that are just, that content is just very on the spot. It's very, you're going to miss it if you miss it. You got to be there or you're going to miss out. Everyone's here. It's so awesome that everyone's here today engaging with us. And that's, that's where the magic happens, is like building relationships in very new ways that is going to be unique going into 2021. That's a really good question.
What's your prediction, Tim?
Ooh, my prediction. I think live video is going to get even more and more creative, more fun, more engaging, more impactful. In the past, there's been a lot of talking head kind of videos. Hey, we're talking heads right here, right? But also, we dance.
Me think of the
right? We have turkeys and brick walls and oceans, so we do our best. But I just think people are going to get a lot more creative with their live videos. What do you think, Tim?
I think some of it is going to be short form video is going to become even more important. I mean, Amy mentioned earlier how, not only a story's grown, like now Twitter has their equivalent called Fleets, and YouTube just came out with Shorts. So, which is really, when you think about it, very powerful, because YouTube is the second biggest search engine after Google, which, by the way, owns YouTube. This could be a major blow to the TikTokers of the world, because now you can put that same content on YouTube and it'll get found a lot quicker. And who knows? And then it ties into your YouTube channel, so you get the subscribers, you get the monetizations. I think you're going to see a big rise in short form content, which I know I'd like to figure out how to get better at. Maybe Amy can help us, because it's hard to do things in 60 seconds or less that you feel is meaningful. At least that's my
Right.
opinion.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's all about having a strategy, right? And of course, live video. I do live video, and that video in general is like, it says like the wave of the future. It's the wave of the. It's like, to me, it's like here and now. And if you're not doing it, you're like, you just got to like decide today that you're going to start doing live video, because we're incorporating video into your marketing, because that is absolutely essential. I don't even see that as a trend anymore. I see it as like, that is our life and that is what we have to do. So it's definitely, using video and like short little tidbits. Having a strategy is what's most important. And knowing, not just putting up random videos here and there, but like having a pattern. Capitalize social media, consistency and purpose. Having that consistency and having a goal in mind and what you're really going after is so important.
For sure. So thank you so much for being here, Amy, and everyone for tuning in. Amy, tell people how they can connect with you, how they could find out more information about you and the programs you offer.
Yeah, definitely. So Capitalize Social Media, you'll find me on Facebook, Instagram. There, of course, I'm on LinkedIn, Amy Iram. And the Facebook is really where I'm at. Usually my show, Coaches Go Social, Tuesdays, 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. And my course, like what I do basically is I help people start and get consistent and monetize their live video strategy. So that is my new course, Capitalize with Live. Just started, and there's a wait list now for the next round. It's super exciting. So if you're not already on video and you need help, please connect with me. I'd love to get to know more about you.
Awesome.
For sure. And next week, Jim, do you know who we have on next week?
I do. Dana Bentz from StreamYard will be joining us. So that will be exciting. Only half of the Bentz clan, not both of them. So, but a lot of fun. Looking forward to having Dana join us, and maybe StreamYard will have some new features she can talk to us about.
They're always rolling out new features. That's one of the things I love about StreamYard, is that almost every week they're rolling out new features and blowing our minds, right, Jim?
Yes, absolutely.
Yay.
And we're actually able to tell people they're getting ready to come out with a separate audio track. So if you're a podcaster and you've been like, I want to do the video like we're doing, but record separate audio tracks and make a podcast, that's coming. Also, unlimited video length, where before it was like 100 megabytes, 5 minutes. That's also coming. And I think they're going to add some stuff to the branding abilities as well. So very, very exciting stuff. StreamYard is always evolving, which I think, and not to mention the community is just tremendous, and glad that Tim and I are a part of that.
Yes, now more than ever. So thanks, Amy. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone, for being here. This has been awesome. And we will see you next week for another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. Cheers.